Hi everyone, this is Leslie Ray with Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig. Today I am doing a special tutorial for Nicolette's Red, White, and Blue blog hop. I've done several blog hops with Nicolette over last year or so, and she always has fantastic blog hops. And in one of the last ones for her birthday, I had made a Mickey Mouse themed birthday bow and had gotten a lot of compliments about it, and a lot of people wanting to know how I made it, and I promised I would make a tutorial. Well, today I am working on the red, white, blue blog hop, and I thought, well, what better way to do this, because I need to make a hair bow for my daughter, and so I'm going to make it with red, white, and blue, and I'm going to make it here live. Well, it's going to be recorded when you see it, but I'm going to do a tutorial for you, and so that you can see how I do it. It's really very simple. You just need to collect some supplies for the skinny tail part that makes it extra poofy, makes it extra special. Get a variety of thinner ribbons and different sizes in your theme. Since our theme is red, white, and blue, I got some red, white, and blue stars and red and white lines and red and blue dots and some red. I also have this fun really thin ribbon that I'm going to use multiple times in the tails. And then also, if you can find something fun like rickrack or beads, string beads that are in the color that you like, you can add those into the tails as well. I know a lot of times around homecoming time, they have all kinds of fun dangly kinds of sparkle things. You can add those in. And in fact, I believe the original bow that I started making a long time ago was called a homecoming bow. So a bunch of these. I've already pre-cut these to about 18 inches. I like the length of 18 inches because it gives you a nice long tail, and you can always trim it down if you need to. But I've got them all trimmed to 18 inches. And I cut, for the most part, I looked at how much weight the color has in the ribbon. That's why I chose the ones I chose. That's why I chose the numbers I chose, so that like for the little skinny ribbon, I did it 3 times so that it would have a little more visual weight in the bow. So what I did, like I said, I cut these. They're not quite 18 inches, maybe 14 to 18 inches. So I like to line these up. And since I didn't have a whole lot of blue colors, I did the blue dot twice, because I felt like I needed a little more blue in there. And then once you've got these size ribbons, then you want to go ahead and get also some wider ribbons. And for my wider ribbons, I chose just a blue ribbon. And this one is not quite an inch wide. It's 7/8 of an inch wide. And I also chose this awesome polka dot, which is 1.5 inches wide. This is a great size for lots of things. And that's probably, I like working with the grosgrain ribbons. They're my favorite. They don't fray like the satins do, but a tip for fraying is get some fray check or stop fray or Fabri-Tac, or sometimes I just use like a little white glue, and I glue the edge, and then I glue where I'm going to put it, like before I cut it, and then I cut through that, and it doesn't fray so bad. Now, what I've done is I've gathered all these ribbons together, and I've got them collected at the top center, and I'm going to take another piece of ribbon. I want something sturdy. Believe it or not, I used to use all the time either beading thread or dental floss to do this part. And recently, I've had that break, and that is unusual because both of those items are usually very, very sturdy, and they don't ever break for me. And so what I do is I make a nice tight knot here and tie it twice so that I have my tails all together so they look perfect. Okay, and if some of them are a little bit long right now, that's fine. We can trim at the end again. If you were thinking and wanted to make that extra tail long and have it just be in here, you could. I may do that. I'm gonna leave this one long. Okay, so these are the center pieces. I'll put this over to the side. Now I'm going to make my big bow, and the reason I want to make my big bow is because this is going to be determines the size of this bow. If I start with this bow and make a really pretty bow, but it's too big and this bow starts getting too loopy and droops or whatever, then it doesn't look so good in the scheme of things. So what I want to do is I want to take this ribbon and make it at least as long as this tail. And usually what I do is go ahead and just kind of go, okay, this would be exactly as long. I'm going to go up about 2.5 inches here. Okay, so this is going to be my center, and this will be my tail, and I can trim this off more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loopy bow. And because this is not a this is a two-side ribbon, it's not the same on both sides, I need to be aware of that when I'm making the bow. So here's my center, and I'm going to go out, and I'm going to bring it back over. Then I'm going to go behind. So now I have two bows on this side that are both up. And then I'm going to go back over like this. So all of my loops are up. Okay? And I want to check that when I do this and squish the middle together, because this is where I'm going to tie it, it's right there, that this makes a decent bow. That it looks good. And this one, when I'm looking at it right now, this one's a little longer than this one. So I'm going to undo it and fix that loop. So go over, over, under and over, and over. Here we go. Let that one go out a little bit. And again, I'm going to use some of this thin ribbon to do my tying today. All of these tie-offs are going to be covered. You're not going to see them. So, and I like to make this go around twice so that when I snug it, it doesn't unsnug when I go to tie it. And I fold it in half, and what I'm doing at this point is check in to see if these little pieces here are about halfway, about even, and they are. And so I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull tight. And I come up here and pull extra tight. So now when I pull this up, I have two loopy bows. Okay. I'll double check my tightness. I'm thinking I want to move this over just a smidge. There we go. Because it was looking a little smaller on one side than on the other. I'm going to pull that good and tight. I tie a bow right there. or not a bow, a knot. Okay, so now you have your knot. So this is going to be the base of our bow. This is going to be its little fun streamers underneath. And we'll make sure we turn it the right direction so the one colored or the one-sided ribbons will be predominant. Okay? And now we need a blue. But before we get too carried away, I'm going to trim off the red so that it has plenty of space there. Get this red out of the way. Okay. So now we need a blue bow to go on top of that. Now remember, the reason I said we did the red bow first is because, see, this is a nice perky bow. It stands up all by itself. And so the blue bow, we'll want to make sure when we make it that it will fit within that bow. So it could be this big and look just fine. I want to make sure it's as long because I want the long streamers on it too. So here we go. Got streamers going. And I'm going to do this, make this bow exactly the same as the other one with my looping. And even if this one does not matter that it's the same on both sides, it doesn't matter that it loops that way, but it just, I think that makes just a really pretty bow. That's one of my favorite loopy bows. So there we go. And I'm going to again fold this to make sure it's the right half. And I need a longer piece of ribbon to tie that with. There we go. Try this again. Go. And we go. There we go. Now, this is folded in half. Just checking its loops to see if they're coming around to the right spot. They are. And gonna grab it right here and do a nice little pull on that bow. Okay. And go ahead and cut that. Okay, here we go. Make sure before we trim off all of our pieces. So this is going to be the top of our bow. I think that looks great. And I'm going to trim this down here. Now, I'm going to move my skinny ribbon out of the way because it's getting in the way. And we're done with it. And what I'm going to do is show you how to put this together. Now, you have your red bow. It's going to be your base. And you can put it on a clip like this or on a hairdo-y, like a rubber band or whatever. This one I'm going to put on a clip for my daughter. So I'm going to go ahead and with my hot glue, add the clip to the back. And that'll go right there. Sorry about that. Adding my clip to the bow here. And then next, I want to put in the middle stuff. I want to put that right there so that it is right in the thick of things. So it goes right here. And then finally, I want to put my center top right there on top. Okay? And the last thing I want to do is fashion a top to this, like this, to hold the whole thing together. And I want it to go on here so that it goes under that metal piece right there, okay, and gets glued down. Now I would do this the same way if this was a ponytail. I would put the ponytail down and this would go over the ponytail. And then I'm going to double check my length here. So I'm going to go like this and bring this up. And bring this back under that loop so that it will end up on the underside of the bow. And for stuff like this, I like to put a like a little bead of glue and fold to make this be a finished edge. And since this was just a little bit longer than it needed to be, I made that fold a little higher up. I'm going to cut that excess off. So see, now when this folds over, this will be a finished edge right here. So let me glue that last piece down. So it's going to glue right there. I can close my bow now. Now this is ready. If I want to come in that it's all done, and I can come down here with all these tails and trim these two long ones here to really match the rest of the length. And same with over here. Trim to match. I think it's always entertaining when I can get one side so much longer than the other. Okay, there we go. So now this is all nice and trimmed up. If I wanted to add extra trinkets to it, I could come up here and add a bow or a button to the cover, or a stack of buttons. I have these fun buttons that I got that are all red, white, and blue. I may add this red and white button right here, like that. Yeah, I want to add some red and white buttons right there. So I'm going to put a little spot of glue right here and pop that puppy right there on there. And then add a little glue edge of this button. And here we go. Sit right there. Now I need to clean up the edges here, but that's going to go right there. And just when you get everybody in their place, you can work it like that. Straighten it up. Like I said, clean up the glue around the edge where I was trying to avoid being burned. I think it makes a fun and festive red, white, and blue ribbon for the 4th of July or any red, white, and blue occasion that you might have. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you find it as easy to make fun, festive homecoming bows as I did. And love to see what you try. So have a great day. I'm going to pop this slide up again because I do a live stream every 2nd and 4th Friday of the month. And my next one will be in about 2 more weeks. The first Friday I'm always off, and the 3rd Friday I usually have a scrappy gig, and this month will be no different. So thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed your tutorial.